All right, welcome back. This is Tech Talk with Dan Harley, episode 160, recorded on June 5th, 2020. So anyway, this episode was been published over several days during the midst of the protesting and rioting that's going on. I was going to move on to another topic because I thought it may be a little bit too controversial and a little bit too political. But I've seen several of my friends posting some conflicting information regarding this issue with Tech Talk and with Twitter and Donald Trump and stuff like that. And it was, in fact, some of it came from one of my attorney friends who frankly should have known better and rather surprised me with what little information is out there. And I started to realize how important it was to with all this going on between Twitter and President Trump and even YouTube and the internet in general, that is an important topic to cover, because this literally, it's been the past and the future internet as we know it here. So anyway, what had happened is President Trump and Twitter are basically butting heads. And I'll explain in some detail why Twitter's wrong, and we'll get this out of the big trouble. Also, how letting Congress monitor the internet will destroy it, which is basically what we might be heading towards. So I'm sure this is going to be controversial. I'm sure some of the liberal friends are not want to agree with what a lot of them are going to say, and there are also some of my conservative friends are going to think the same way. They're not going to agree with everything I say either. So, but regardless, everyone needs to know the importance of what's going on, because right now, there's certain little legislative act there that really made the internet as it is, and not many people know about this, and it's probably arguably just as important as the First Amendment. So anyway, while we're at it, in case you are new to my YouTube channel or my podcast show, I'm Dan Harley, and I have over 20 years of experience in internet marketing, internet solution consulting, a lot more experience in programming, stuff like that, all the technology stuff. And I helped countless businesses see it online. This Tech Talk show is designed to put together to help business owners out there answer some questions, solve some problems, provides a sound advice, and put them in the right directions. You can find information on the links to the YouTube channel, the podcast show, for iTunes, Android devices, Facebook page, or other stuff at primeconcepts.net. That's primeconcepts.net. By the way, just rebuilt the site, so you'll find lots of free stuff there. Free tutorials on internet marketing, how to build SEO-friendly websites, and a lot more. And now we have information on the COVID-19 that we're going to be focusing on. So anyway, go to visit primeconcepts.net, and you find all that information there. And also, thanks for hanging out with me for next few minutes, and let's jump back in the subject here. So anyway, the topic is, what did Twitter do wrong? What did Twitter do wrong here? So let me tell you a little story here. I had been still technically pretty active on Twitter. I have several accounts for different focuses. I have two personal accounts with long-time online avatars. Between the two of them, I have over 50,000 followers. Had over 50,000 followers. And keep in mind, I'm not a celebrity. These are earned followers, as I call them. I share some really quality content, and these people, naturally follow me. The content was about technology, online marketing, network marketing, local news events. I touched thousands of people immediately through those Twitter accounts, and mostly G-rated stuff. There's a lot of I could easily get into lots of G-rated stuff, but I also, this is primarily to support my business, support what I do. So also, I developed a Twitter marketing strategy where I can drive literally thousands of people to a website in a very, very short time. So this is an integral part of what I do as an internet marketer, internet marketing consultant, is Twitter. So anyway, about 2 years ago, there was this internet boycott that was trying to be put together by the California DNC chair. those of you who are not in California, you probably at least heard about In-N-Out and how near and dear it is to us Californians. So anyone who lives in California, regardless of political leaning, whether left, righty, or whatever, knows that was pretty stupid to boycott In-N-Out, to tell California to boycott In-N-Out. And I love In-N-Out. Okay, I go at least every week, so I'm very outspoken about it. So anyway, both of my primary accounts, as I'm telling you, were permanently banned. Not just a tweet taken, permanently banned. 10 minutes after I'd like to tweet against the In-N-Out boycott. I tried for months to reinstate it, with no luck. Twitter refused. It didn't give me a decent answer. I tried to look what's going on. All I did was follow this one tweet that didn't like the fact didn't like the In-N-Out boycott. And I opened it. I feel like, okay, fine. I gave up on the two accounts more or less and opened up a new account. That got pretty permanently banned as well. Suggesting that Twitter doesn't want me on their platform. So, and they still to this day would not. I continue asking me, what did I do? What's wrong? What did I do? Through the proper channels, and they still not respond, saying I'm permanently banned. Now, I still use Twitter through other profiles, which I'm not going to mention for obvious reasons now. This is primarily for my business-related stuff. And I have accumulated almost as many followers on these other accounts as I have for my two primary ones. But I don't use them for personal communications, strictly for business. Now, at the same time, their other accounts post outright death threats. Okay, and they're doxing people, bullying others. And not even a warning is given to them. They keep on going. I'll tell you, I'll quote one of the tweets that gets under my nerves. The tweet is, let me kind of read it to you. Police HQ must demolish the city tomorrow as a show contribution of Black America. This is a recent tweet. This is by Michael Moore. So, okay, so my tweet that just following the banning of somebody not wanting to ban In-N-Out, I get permanently banned, but Michael Moore gets away with that. So, morals of the story is Twitter's censorship has been an issue for many, many years. This is not something new. This is not something specific to President Trump. This is problematic. Okay, so Twitter has a long history of arbitrarily fact-checking and censoring their users and tweets. And same thing with YouTube and some of these other social networking things as well. They're doing the same thing, arbitrarily fact-checking or censoring whatever. I even have a YouTube channel banned. I still don't know why. So anyway, that's my story there. I apologize. I forgot to advance the slides. That's it. I got banned from Twitter because of In-N-Out boycott. Okay, it has nothing to do. Really, it's political, but this is like way, way out in the left field kind of politics. So, okay. So anyway, what triggered Twitter here? Trump basically. Let's come down to it from my perspective here. Trump tweeted a tweet about mail-in ballots and voter fraud. Twitter posted a fact check and linked the facts to a CNN article claiming Trump's claims were unsubstantiated. So this fired off everything. President Trump fired off an executive order a few days ago. Basically suggesting social media platforms should not be treated as public forums and protected by Section 230 of the CDA if they censor people, if they censor their users. Okay, I can talk a little bit more about the CDA here pretty soon because that's very, very important to talk about. So basically, Twitter poked the bear. Okay, they're going to be extremely vulnerable if not protected by the CDA Section 30 law here. So, and subsequently, the stocks dropped like a rock since this executive order. So anyway, This Section 230 of Communication Decency Act. This is a big thing the big act that a lot of people don't realize is there, but creates the current internet. So anyway, what is Section 230 of the Communication Decency Act? Probably the best resource to understand CDA Section 230, which is kind of abbreviated what I'm talking about. There's a book by Jeff Kosseff. I'm going to put a link in the show notes and stuff like that to Amazon where you can buy it yourself. About $10, $15. That basically the title of it is The 26 Words That Created the Internet, by Jeff Kosseff. The 26 Words That Created the Internet. And to simplify CDA Section 230, I'll read exactly the 26 words. No provider of or user of an internet computer service shall be treated as a publisher. Oh, in fact, I slide that. No provider or user of an interactive computer service shall be treated as a publisher or speaker of any information provided by another information content provider. Okay? Basically, tech companies are not responsible for posts made by members or guests. So Twitter is not responsible for people who tweet on Twitter. Facebook is not responsible for whoever's posting on Facebook, and so on and so forth. Okay? This CDA Section 230 protects internet platforms such as Twitter, such as Facebook, such as YouTube, so on and so forth, from issues caused by their members. Defamation, false information, sexually explicit content, discriminatory ads, threats. All of these, dozens of cases that could have cost these platforms millions and millions of dollars. These platforms are immune from all of them. Okay? So, this is why CDA Section 230 is why the U.S. is home to all these big tech companies, social networking companies, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google. They're all here and not in another country, because we are the only country that has this law that protects these platforms. Obviously, could not be done in China. So anyway, so that said, it basically makes the internet what it is right now. Without this act, there would be no social network. Okay, so anyway, arguably, that said, is arguably the most as important as First Amendment when it comes to laws we have in this land. Freedom of speech is online. Our ability to have these social networks is because of this act. So anyway, now this act was not intended to protect the platforms. It decided to become objective. Okay, however, a part of the act here part of the verbiage of the act is these platforms can they can filter their content, users' content as they so please. So Twitter has every right to kick me off of their platform without notice, which sucks. Obviously, I'd be upfront. It's terrible, but that is their right under CDA Section 230. Technically, they have their right to question President Trump's tweet. Now, this is the issue that's coming to a head right now. It was intended to give protection. CDA Section 230 was intended to give protection to Twitter and Facebook, so long as they're not publishers, so long as it's not their content that's going online to defame somebody or hurt somebody. Okay, if it comes from a user like me, if I called another user on Twitter a booby face, then that other user can't sue Twitter because I called somebody a booby face. They can sue me, but not Twitter. The argument here is if Twitter removes my posts, maybe it's a legitimate post that maybe that person is a booby face. Where does the line draw between being a publisher, monitoring these posts, and the protection here? Because here's something else too. CDA Section 230 does not protect actual publishers, such as newspapers, such as TV stations, such as radio stations. It protects social network platforms. So, back to what Twitter did. Twitter not only flagged President Trump's tweet, but also published an alternative option, an alternative content to what President Trump tweets. So where are we at with that when it comes to publishing? Okay, so that is probably very likely is going to become an issue, a legal issue very soon. Okay, and here's something else here too. This is the dilemma online right now between, let's say, the two the polar sides of politics in the United States. Liberals feel there's more need for more content filtering. They don't want a President Trump or a Senator Ted Cruz or someone like me to say what we want to say. Okay, we should be filtered. We should be for fake news or whatever they want to come up with. Conservatives naturally think we're getting censored. We're not allowed to talk on these platforms. So this is butting heads. This is butting heads a lot. Okay, and it comes down to Section 230. How do we interpret this? The Section 230 was believe it or not. Here's something else interesting here too. CDA's Section 230 was a bipartisan law, act that was passed almost unanimously by both sides of the House. This was a mutually beneficial act that was put together to benefit all of us, and it has. If it wasn't for this act, we would have no Facebook or Twitter or YouTube or all these or the social networking environment that we have now. So anyway, something else that's brought up here too is Mark Zuckerberg. He kind of, and I want to add something else or two along with what's going on with Twitter on this here. Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Facebook, kind of spoke out saying he's not going to filter politically posted posts from politicians, such as he's not going to filter President Trump's tweets or his posts. Okay, and he's taking a lot of flack for his own company, his own employees, saying we're going to quit if you're going to do that. You need to go up there and follow Twitter or else. Okay, let me tell you bluntly why the difference between the two companies here. First of all, Jack Dorsey, who is a CEO of Twitter, is essentially a figurehead. Okay, and bear with me here. This is my intimate knowledge of this industry. He's at best a mediocre programmer. Just about when Twitter was kind of evolving into what it is now, before kind of the brainchild at the stage, Jack Dorsey almost quit the company that used to be Twitter, and that is now Twitter, and to become a fashion designer. That's kind of where he's at. His mindset was. He also admits, even recently, that others operate Twitter on his behalf. So he's kind of more as a figurehead. Now, Mark Zuckerberg, though, he's actively involved in his company. He's an active CEO. So he knows Facebook would be sunk if not protected by the CDA Section 230. He knows any changes to CDA Section 230 will be huge impact on his company. Unlike Jack Dorsey, that seems to be avoiding this, he doesn't have as much control over his company. Zuckerberg knows this is going to be very devastating to him. So that's why he acted as he has. And unfortunately, Jack Dorsey, maybe he would. And he actually, I'm gonna touch on a little bit here too. So anyway, all that said, what should Twitter do from my perspective? And this is my opinion. Okay. I think Twitter should frankly back off. Okay. They've been poking the pig for quite a while here. If they keep on doing this, they're going to end up having Congress get involved with modifying CDA Section 230, which would be bad for everybody. Okay. And they should, really take a step back, look at what they're doing. It's not necessary for them to do the filtering as they are, the monitoring as they are. Okay, they need to really relook at all that. Take a serious look at what they're doing, because they're gonna trigger a congressional act on here, which is not going to be good for anybody. If you ever see how Congress reacts to internet-related stuff, it's not good. Okay. And now, here's something else here. Bring it back to Jack Dorsey. He started a project called Blue Sky Project, which basically decentralizes standards for social networking. Okay. This is basically taking the core, the profiles of, let's say, Twitter or Facebook, whatever, have a central decentralized core using, the crypto technology, so it's away from Twitter, away from Facebook, away from Google, somewhere in the goo somewhere, where you can actually access any of these platforms plus more, without having to have an account for Twitter or have an account for Facebook, so on and so forth. It allows communication between all the platforms instead of you have to be only just only Twitter or just only Facebook. So it's a novel idea. And then individual platforms can establish their own rules. So if Twitter doesn't want President Trump on there, then so be it. That's their rule. We can do another one. Or if YouTube doesn't like President Trump YouTubing, that's their own rule, so on and so forth. If this is done, this is something that Dorsey brainchild endorsed, has some handful of people on it. If, in my opinion, if Twitter follows through with this, gets this done, okay, they're going to look like a hero to all the social networking companies out there, and then they can keep their rules, okay. Again, in my opinion, I don't think the Twitter decision makers are going to go follow that. They're going to do something stupid, okay. They're probably going to push back even further. They're going to poke the pig even further, okay. And then Trump and Congress are going to go in and modify CDA Section 230. And I don't see anywhere this is going to be a good thing. Okay. Twitter and other platforms are going to be screwed. Okay. Because if they modify it, that means Twitter is probably going to end up being considered a publisher. And then the many hundreds of millions of their members are liabilities. So one thing will happen is they're going to have to complete 100% monitoring. So your tweets that go on instantly will probably take an hour or two to process, because somebody has to check and verify that it's legal for you to process that. This is also including smaller companies. My own website, if you want to post something about my show here, right now you're completely open to do that. With any modification, CDA Section 230 requires me to check it first, check with the legal team before I'm allowed to have it on my site. So it's going to dramatically change the internet as we know it. Okay, and without these checks, these legal checkings here, Twitter, Facebook, all these other companies could be legally vulnerable for any tweets that go out, and they'll be buried in lawsuits. This goes back to why Twitter suddenly lost a tremendous amount of value as soon as President Trump submitted the executive order against him. So anyway, so I got one thing here too. I forgot to put a slide up here. Something you can do about all this, okay? And the time being here, and let me kind of jump around here a little bit. The logical thing you could do with Twitter or Facebook, also, if they censor you, simply don't use them. Okay, I I've been locked out of Twitter, so I have no choice. I don't use them except for the accounts used for professional purposes. If fewer users on Twitter means ads become worthless. And that's already happening with Twitter, okay? I personally, I see signs that Twitter is becoming useless as a marketing platform. I've seen conversions for Twitter traffic since 2016 drop like a rock. Basically, what I'm telling you here is no one on Twitter is buying stuff anymore. It used to be I could send thousands of people to a website, people are going to buy stuff, for lack of better terms, off of whatever his website is sent to. I can send the same amount of traffic for Twitter, and there would be no conversions, no purchases. Basically, people on Twitter now apparently have no money. Okay, so or the traffic is not of any value. And I got a lot of my colleagues that are dedicated with providing Twitter support. They set up Twitter accounts and for businesses, and feel that's an important part, integral part of internet marketing. I'm finding things significantly different, where Twitter is not as important as it used to be 2-3 years ago. It's frankly it's foolish to put a lot of money into Twitter unless you have money to burn. Okay. Now, I'm sure what I've said so far is kind of unnerves some folks out there, especially probably my more liberal friends. And let me tell you something. If you don't believe anything that I stated so far, you have to believe this. Okay? If you believe that YouTube and Twitter should provide more content filtering, that's fine. Okay? Here's something blunt about filtering, about censoring. Censoring is preventing you from accessing information, not me. That I have decades and decades of hacking stuff like that. If I want to find out something, I'll find out about it. Okay, if there's a picture out there that somebody says need to look at, chances are I'll be able to find it. It's on the internet somewhere. I've been able to get around censors for a very, very long time. Okay, Twitter and YouTube, all these other places that are censoring heavily. Okay, they are trying to keep you from accessing that information, not me. You're not able to access that. You're not able to access pictures or President Trump's tweet or my issues with the boycotting in and out. Okay. And so that means Twitter and the Twitter and YouTube, all these other social networking channels, they want to keep certain things from their users. They want, meaning you, they want to feed you what they want you to believe. And that's, you take a step back. That's the fact. Okay. Now, Twitter and YouTube, all these other channels, they have a moral obligation to, frankly, stop censoring conservatives, for lack of better terms. It's obvious what they're doing. They need to stop. Stop the bullshit, basically. Okay. It's only hurting those they claim they're protecting. Only hurting you. Okay. If they continue doing this, Congress is going to get involved, and they're going to modify CDA S230, and the protection, this protection they have now, was not intended to protect their abilities to this excessive censoring. Okay, the censoring that was suggested in this act was for adult content. It wasn't intended to shut down a political point of view. Or boycott an In-N-Out hamburger. Okay? If they don't back off, Congress will get involved and they will screw it up. Okay? All this so people's feelings don't get hurt. Okay? Even if you don't agree with me politically or otherwise, if you do not want the internet to look like a handful of TV stations, about 2-3 handful, let's say 2-3 TV stations, that's all the internet is. It's imperative that you understand what CDA S230 is all about. support leaving it alone, regardless of political affiliation. Tell Twitter, YouTube to stop the bullshit. Okay? So, sure, this is going to get some questions out there, some controversy, and please, any question, concern about this, post in the comments in the comment section of this video, or the podcast show, or the episode page at primeconcepts.net. If you want, contact me directly. I'd be more than happy to talk to you about that. You can send me an email at Dan Harley at primeconcepts.net. That's DANHARLEY at primeconcepts.net. Then the subject should be section 230. Make sure it's all caps. So I see that. I get loads and loads of emails, so I want to make sure I find that in the emails, and I'll talk to you directly about that. Or you can call me at 760-247-4814. Do me a big favor. Share this with friends and colleagues. Hopefully this information can be beneficial to others out there. And last but not least, I forgot to put the slide here. Thanks for watching and listening. I really appreciate that. I do this for you folks out there. So anyway, good luck and Godspeed to your online success, and be safe out there.